so many new trailers coming out lately, it's easy to get caught up into looking forward to the films that are coming out next year. And I'm no different. Even though I've seen so many great films from 2014, I can't help but to look ahead and say what's next. So that's why I made a top 5 most anticipated movies of 2015. Now, this is my opinion, so just be sure of that. Starting off the list at number 10, Maze Runner 2, The Scorch Trials. And I, myself, am surprised to see this on my list because I went into that first movie, the first Maze Runner, not really expecting anything, but I ended up liking it a lot. And this is good because I've seen so many movies in Hollywood try to take these novels that are based off of these young adult stories that we're starting to notice the cliches and just how annoying some of them are. Sure, there's been a lot of success in movies like Harry Potter, even Twilight, or The Hunger Games, but there's been a lot of failures as well. Beautiful Creatures, The Mortal Instruments, hell, even I don't care too much for the Divergent movies, so seeing this film come along and be good, I was happy with, and I can't wait to see what they do next with the sequel. At number 9, Pitch Perfect 2. And that might come as a surprise to some people, but I admit it, I like that first Pitch Perfect movie. I remember redboxing it just sort of randomly out of boredom and being, once again, surprised by how much I liked the actors, the characters. It's a great cast. Anna Kendrick showed that she's good enough to carry her own movie, star in it. And even everyone else, Brittany Snow, Rebel Wilson, and Anna Camp. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the sequel, especially after seeing that trailer. It seems like they're taking some of the good stuff that we loved from the first movie and just giving us more of that. So that should be interesting. At number 8, Mission Impossible 5. I admit I know next to nothing about this new movie, but all I know is that it's supposedly coming out next year. Who knows if that really happens. But just the notion of another Mission Impossible movie makes me happy because after that fourth film, it was so awesome, so much great action. Tom Cruise still showing that he's still got it. How could you not look forward to the next movie? At number 7, Ant-Man. And Ant-Man, I admit he's not my favorite superhero. He's not even in my top probably 5 favorite superheroes, not even close. But he's still a character that I remember watching as a kid and the animated shows of the Avengers, and he was always with the Avengers. And I always thought he was a little weird and different. His ability to grow to the size of a giant being or just shrink to the size of an ant. I always thought he stood out in the group. So after getting the Avengers and seeing all of the stuff in live action, I wondered if they would go as far as to bring us Ant-Man, and they are. So for that, for me being so curious to see how they pull this off and how they make it work, which by this point I'd be dumb to think that Marvel can't do it, that's why I'm looking forward to this movie. And it's a great cast too. Michael Douglas, Paul Rudd. It should be good. Coming in at number 6, The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 2. And I loved The Hunger Games 2, Catching Fire. That's my favorite in the series. And then Mockingjay Part 1, I liked a lot, but I didn't love it as much as I thought. And I think a lot of that just has to do with the underwhelming ending. There is no ending. It just sort of stops. And I know some people are going to say, well, what the hell were you expecting? It's called Part 1. Clearly, it's an incomplete story, and sure, that's fine. I guess I'm not quite yet used to these movies based on books, where the last film, for some reason, just has to be split up into 2 parts. I know it's for the money, I know it's to keep the series going as long as they can, but it seems like you've watched the first movie, and it builds up all of this stuff, and then you're left with one of the biggest cliffhangers ever. So if for nothing else, I want to see how the story ends. I want to see how everything wraps up. At number 5, The Fast and the Furious Part 7. Who knew that the Fast and Furious movies would be all the way at number 7 now? And after that trailer, the action is getting crazier and crazier. The budget's getting bigger and bigger. This has gone almost away from the racing, the street racing, and become more of a big action adventure. And that's very cool. It's Paul Walker's last film, and seeing him in the trailer was a little weird. But I mostly can't wait to see what they do with his character, how they pay tribute to him and sort of send his character off. I'm so glad that they're not killing him off. Some of my friends said that that's what should be done. I'm like, no! How could you kill his character off? That's terrible. And you have Jason Statham as the villain. You don't need to say much more. I'm already there. At number 4, Spectre, which we just recently found out that that's the name of the next James Bond movie. Bond 24. 24 James Bond movies. Who knew that that series could be going on for this long and still keep my interest, have me still anticipating the next Bond movies? That's a testament to Daniel Craig, how much I love him as the Bond character, how great his Bond movies have been. I love the serious take on the character. It's apparently more like the books, but I also like how, even with Skyfall, the ending of Skyfall, how they are sort of venturing back to the original feel. Some stuff that they're taking, and clearly with this title, they're taking a big main plot that went on for, I feel like, 6 different movies in the original series, and they're going to do something different with it. And that's what I think should be done with more reboots. You take some stories from the original, and you take the best stuff from it and put it into one great film. It's more than enough to get me interested. Coming in at number 3, Star Wars The Force Awakens. And I've already made a video talking about the trailer and pretty much talking about how much I'm looking forward to this movie. What I want to mention right now is how I couldn't believe the outrage that people had from seeing that a stormtrooper is being played by a black actor. And I mean, when I saw the trailer and I saw him with the helmet off, my first reaction was, oh wow, we're seeing a stormtrooper, like actually a person in the stormtrooper costume, because I was always in the assumption that the stormtroopers were either robots, drones, or who knows, maybe even just clones. Like, they weren't really anything. They weren't characters. They were just there to get killed and to shoot people, but yet they never seemed to ever hit their target. They were always just, like, they had a cool design, don't get me wrong, the helmets look cool, but I was amazed to see how many people were pissed that it's a black person. I mean, we've known nothing about the stormtroopers. Nothing. And yet you're going to be pissed because they're actually doing something with one of the characters? I mean, hell, for all we know, this is just somebody who had to dress up like a stormtrooper to do something. I mean, we don't even know, but I couldn't believe what I was reading after that so many people were pissed. I was disgusted to see that we're still in that mindset in 2014. At number 2, Jurassic World. Another movie that I made a video on the trailer, and I think the trailer looks pretty awesome. And I can't wait to see what they do different with the dinosaurs. I mean, we already have this new hybrid species of a dinosaur that's 40 feet high and ginormous. So obviously there's that. But even the scene with the velociraptors running with Chris Pratt, I'm like, are they with them? Are they good guys, these raptors, or are they just kind of running around mad and crazy? I don't know. I'm a sucker for that original Jurassic Park movie, so to see them do anything with it, as long as it's good, is very promising. But as number 1 for my most anticipated film of 2015, shouldn't be any surprise here, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of oh shit, wait a minute. That movie still isn't coming out till 2016. Fuck! Even though I'm pretty sure they're done shooting, and I would bet money that they could have this movie released by next year. It sucks that I still have to wait like another year and a half. Anyways, my real number 1, of course, is the Avengers Age of Ultron. what more can I say that hasn't already been said, especially since that trailer, that first trailer where we saw just how epic this is going to be, how much bigger this is going to be even compared to the first Avengers movie. And that's saying a lot because me being a big Marvel fan, I still am getting over the giddiness of us getting these types of films in live action and how awesome they're making it. Joss Whedon is the perfect guy to be behind all of this. And the fact that everybody expected and everybody wanted Thanos as the next villain, and they are still holding him back, and they introduced this villain Ultron that a lot of people, including myself, knew next to nothing about. But once you saw what type of character he was going to be, how serious of a threat he was going to be, and how much interesting things are going to be behind how he comes about, you were sold. And you thought, you know what, we can wait for Thanos. I don't mind, because it looks like we're going to be blessed with an awesome film, quite possibly one of the best superhero movies of all time. That's how great I think it's going to be. So guys, that's my list, my top 10 most anticipated films of 2015. Let me know in the comments below, what are some of your movies that you're looking most forward to for next year. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!